Make some noise if this is your first time at the United Palace Theater. Make some noise if you've been here before. Yeah. 50-50, that's how we like it. Give me a second, I'm recovering my feelings after reliving the craziest part of my life in this wonderful movie. But I don't want to say too much now because I want to share it with the very special, singular, unforgettable star at the center of it. Please welcome Renée Elise Goldsberry. So we were sitting upstairs having feelings, watching this. I first saw you, my favorite part of the movie, I have a lot of favorite parts of the movie, but my favorite part in the first part of the movie was the reel of shows you had done, and I realized I've been chasing you all my life.
Oh my God!
Because I saw you in Two Gentlemen of Verona, I saw you closing night at Rent as the Mimi.
Yes.
And
did you watch One Life to Live? No.
I saw you in, so I remember you singing in Central Park. Like, that was the first time I saw you singing the opening thing in Central Park.
I had no idea. Tommy Kail and Lin-Manuel, baby Tommy and Lin were in the audience when I was singing in the park. And that's the beauty of having been around a long time.
What year was that?
That was 2005. And also one of the reasons why I allowed this documentary to be made, why I decided yes, it's because in 2005, it was a very exciting year. I got to be in the park. And future makers of theater were in the audience watching me. And I was in a show with Oscar Isaac and Rosario Dawson and all this amazing stuff. And I was on One Life to Live. Just a lot of things were happening in my life. I got the Color Purple from that.
I saw you in Color Purple?
You saw me in the Color Purple. And then I was visiting my father's church. And I was sitting in the audience, in the congregation, and the pastor said, "We have a superstar in the house tonight. Somebody amazing is here." And he started listing all these credits, and I was looking around like, who is it? And then finally he said, Ron Goldsberry's daughter, Renée Goldsberry, and I couldn't believe he was talking about me, because in that year, while I had been in the park and done all those amazing things, I had also had some really painful, emotionally painful miscarriages, and I just felt like nobody really knows. They only talk about the exciting, amazing things that you've done, but no one really describes all of you. And I think we are most valuable when we share the losses and the wins, and that's why this was a beautiful thing to do, and I'm so grateful that you all came and shared it with us. Ask me questions. But this would not exist if he did not say yes. And not only saying yes to casting me or whatever, but saying yes to letting somebody take his beautiful story and let it be about a woman's experience. He already was great at that because he already could have made a different Hamilton. You didn't necessarily have to make the Hamilton that featured what was going on with the sisters and the women. But you were not stupid. You're a very smart person. And you knew that it just don't work. It's not going to work if the women can't feel and see themselves. But I think to do this and to say yes to allowing us to use all this footage, to saying yes to allowing this to be in this beautiful theater, just shows that you really are the real thing. You really are.
Okay, well, listen, I love the movie and I love the story you're telling because you're absolutely right. the fact that we were in this insane process, and we also have these home lives. My son was born November 10th, 2014. We started rehearsals November 24th, 2014. I had not written the duel yet, and I am learning how to heat up breast milk at 3 in the morning. And I always say parenthood is like the hardest video game you've ever played. As soon as you get good at something, you don't have to do that anymore. They're on to the next thing. Like, oh, you can swaddle? They don't need your swaddle. Fuck your swaddle. Oh, you can do it with one hand? Onto solids. And people would ask my wife, like, how is this crazy experience? She's like, I don't remember. I didn't see my husband for a year.
Yeah.
And my wife had a day job, and I had a night job, and we passed the child back and forth.
Yeah.
And
you didn't sleep.
And I did not sleep from 2015 to 2016.
And you were also writing it. I just had to show up and say the lines that were written. You did that. I mean, I just think it's a big deal because we talk a lot about it being only a mother's journey, but it really is a parent's juggle.
Yeah, but I think you tell the story so beautifully. And first of all, what a joy it is to see Benjamin Brielle grow up in 90 minutes on that screen. Benjamin's like 6 foot a billion.
He's 6'3" now. His waist comes up to here.
But to watch that and the beautiful story of Brielle, and I mean, what is it like for you? What was it like for you to relive so much of that in the making of this? Because this is not just getting your footage. This is like long, intense talks about that journey.
I feel like it's always in my life. I think the thing that moves me the most right now, sometimes it makes me very emotional to see when my children in the movie stop, how they change. In the beginning, they're really like present, and then if you notice as the movie goes along, every time I show up, they're like, bye. As soon as I walk in, they say, bye. Like that when I notice that when I watch it, it's kind of heartbreaking. But then I feel better because I get to see my husband.
And a round of applause for Alexis. Good gracious.
And the truth of the matter is, the beauty of this existing in the world is that he really is the star in our family. He really, absolutely low-key is the star in our family. Nothing is scripted. It's all off the top of his head. That's actually what he believes. And none of us are perfect. But I did get very blessed in the...
And even beyond his beautiful quotes and his beautiful presence, that guy slices vegetables like nobody's fucking business. I was like, I'm watching a cooking show. Like, that would be the shot you do in a movie to show that the husband's a good guy. Oh, he can cut the shit out of a cucumber. That's a provider. And he's doing that too while saying all these wonderful things.
Meanwhile, I'm badly cooking an omelet. I'm like, can you cut the part when the omelet is made so they think I know what I'm doing?
Yeah, when he's saying the most emotional thing, you were bringing the loudest dish out of the back of the drawer. Clank, clank. I'll have to ADR that. I want to talk a little bit about. I want to rewind it because the part also in the movie that makes me laugh, just from my perspective in this chair, is the fact that you thought after that audition you didn't have this part. Because I think that story's been told many times. Renée blew our heads off. People have been asking me, because we've been posting footage of people's auditions and stuff. There is no recording of that because we were all in the room. We only
Really? That's great. I was waiting for mine.
We only made a recording if one of the creative team was not in the room so that they could see it later. And we actually were all present for your audition. So Andy, Alex, Tommy, and I were all there. And it was exactly what I said. It was like, she's so fast. And you got the sense that that's exactly how fast your brain is, and your mouth is racing to catch up with it. And now that I know you, I know that I'm understating the case, that you are that brilliant. And so it was it was yours from jump. So the whole time we were like, I don't know if they'll offer. I'm like, this is science fiction.
And also what I have to say when I look at it, I mean, the beauty of it is I think everybody feels imposter syndrome. Is that
Sure.
true? Can you say that? That's something we all feel. It doesn't it's not like it goes away. I just heard an actor say, the only imposter is the syndrome itself. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to keep that with me. I wish I had known it then. But what I love about, being 10 years past is that everybody that was right for it has gotten a chance to play this part. Like the idea that you only get a chance at that one moment is ridiculous. I tell people all the time when they're auditioning for something like Hamilton or Rent or The Lion King or any of these shows that are really big, just wait. Like they're gonna need you desperately in a minute. So it's just important to remember sometimes things seem so immediate, but just hold on. You'll have a shot.
And I also feel like every original cast is a 4-minute mile, by which I mean there were scientific studies to prove human beings will never break the 4-minute mile. It's just literally not possible with our bodies. And then once someone did it, we just never stopped doing it.
Yeah.
And
a woman just did it.
It takes so long to find the right cast of Hamilton. And like the people we found speak for themselves. Now they're on your TV and they're in the movies and we're celebrating them in this film series. Like it was such a once in a galaxy collection of people in the public and in the Rogers in that first year. And then the people who go, I can do that, find us.
Oh, amazing.
And I find now I'll go and I'll visit the tour cast and I'll take selfies with folks, and then later on Instagram I'll see a picture of them with me at the stage door when they were in high school. And now they're in the show. And it's like how it started, how it's going. But it really was extraordinary in that building, especially in the public when we were all right next to each other. I want you to talk a little bit about your dressing room with Philippa Sue and Jasmine Cephas Jones.
It was the best thing. So the first in the public, we were in that room together. Do you remember how clean it was after the opening night? I have to say, one of the things I'm most proud about when it comes to establishing or originating a role, I think that people have this misconception that girls compete with each other only. That if there's going to be 3 sisters, when you're making something, we didn't know who was going to stand where in the Schuyler sisters. We didn't know what character was going to pop out and who would get more of the shine or the spotlight. And there could have been a lot of competition between us. And we never did that. What is real, any footage you see on Instagram or in this film of the 3 of us together, somebody is always touching somebody else. We're always holding on to each other. We were clinging to each other. We loved each other so much. And I right before we would go on for Schuyler Sisters, I have to tell you this, it was really scary to be women and enter this show, because if you see Hamilton, the show is already brilliant before you introduce the sisters. And so it was nerve-wracking to be off stage watching them sing the story of tonight, watching the brains of everybody that was in the audience just splattered all over the room. And then us have to come out. Thank God we had to come out together. But we would always be sitting off stage like this. Doing really bad hip-hop dances. This one is Philippa Sue. And we would do it together just to kind of get into the spirit of being girls together. And then we would come out together and just take over the stage like women are in this world too. Maybe they're not carved on the mountain, but they were here and they're a part of this and they're in this musical, and we are here and we are not alone. We are powerful, all 3 together. And even though we're squabbling when we walk out, we recognize the power of the 3. And it's just one of the things that I loved, because no matter when one of us was out, if another girl came into our mix, we were like, come on girl, what's your dance? What's your dance? We always did that and supported each other, and I love that about us, and I love that the show supported it throughout. And so when we were in that dressing room, we started harmonizing because we were spiritually already harmonizing. And not much changed, nothing, did anything, very little changed from the public to the Broadway run of Hamilton, except for one thing, and that is he added more harmony in the Schuyler sisters because we and our relationship with each other had inspired.
All those whoa, 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 that's all because we had these three
It was
ladies.
not there before. They mostly cut things to make it a better length.
Yeah.
But this he added to, and I think it's because of the power of women together and the fact that we defy the idea that we are not always lifting each other up.
Yeah. Even before that, because that's all true. Like their harmonies were so beautiful, we were like, we're not taking advantage of the fact that these women harmonize beautifully together in the song. That song exists because I had written Helpless, I had written Satisfied, and your power together was so good, was like, we need to meet these women much sooner. Because we were going chronologically. So we're like, we need to meet these women before Hamilton meets these women. Which is why the Schuyler sisters exists, was because, that power was so strong. We needed those songs. We needed to meet them early in our story, and that's why I wrote the Schuyler sisters. That was not written chronologically. Schuyler sisters came later, and then went earlier.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We should probably talk about the White House for a second. A day for which I will forever be clowned for my wardrobe choices. They said festive. That's what I wear to parties. I didn't know it was. Anyway. But I'm also glad you highlighted the stress of that moment. We finished our matinee.
Yeah.
We got on a bus to DC.
And it wasn't just any matinee. We finished an 8-show week. It was leaving after a 5-show weekend on our day off to drive.
And I woke up and I couldn't turn my head to the left. My neck had totally seized up. I reeked of Ben Gay at the White House. That's where stress goes for me. It goes to my neck right away. So if you watch any footage of the White House, I'm never turning to the left. Or if I am, it's like I'm Batman. I'm just in the cowl and I can't move.
When I got home that night, Benjamin was in the crib and Brielle was in the bed. Because they had fooled my family members that were watching them. They actually fooled people that had children of their own, had raised children of their own, that's the way they slept. And I just couldn't, everything was a constant reminder of the question is, no matter how much success you think you're having here, you are failing over here. And that's a crazy reality to live in all the time. Like, what is the cost? What is the price I'm going to pay for this? And I think it's important to say, it's a scary thing to agree to say, I'm going to tell a story that's about me when it includes the life of my children.
Sure.
I asked my children before we started doing this documentary, are you comfortable with the idea of doing this? And Benjamin said, well, this is probably the only way I'm ever going to be in a movie. And I don't know what Brielle said, but I'm sure it was funnier. And I realized they had given me permission, but they were children, and it doesn't really count. So I was always very nervous, and the filmmakers who are here that I'm going to shout out in a second, we always said, you have complete approval of the likeness of your children in this movie, and if you're not happy, you can take them completely out. And the reason why they're still in it, they were very happy with how they did in the film.
They're the stars of the movie.
Most importantly, though, which is so crazy, they don't recognize themselves. That's how fast children get older. They literally watch the movie like they're looking at some cute kids they've never met in their life. But what feels the most beautiful to me is that somebody told me once, have you ever heard this? When you're at work, you should put pictures up of your children so that they know that they're there with you. Have you ever heard this?
Sure.
So the beauty of this film is I think they receive it as Hamilton also is theirs. So it feels like I'm sharing something with them, and that makes me feel like, oh, it actually had the opposite effect. And can I also say one other thing?
You can say whatever you want, Renee. It's your time.
This is something that's not in this movie, and when I watch it, I feel like I wish I could see it, but it doesn't necessarily work for the narrative. But what it is that they were raised by this cast. Last night my son Benjamin was going through my phone, like from way, way back in the day, and the number of videos of like Oak at our house playing with our kids, or Tommy like doing things with our kids, or Jasmine doing their hair, or Pippa babysitting, like the beauty of it is actually they are little Hamilton kids.
Absolutely, and it's also, I feel like the movie's such a love letter to them, and I think it's very hard to be away from them, because I was on that journey with my first child with you that first year, and it's very hard to be away from them, and at the same time, the gift you give them with this film is the modeling of chasing your dreams, and the way you are so humble in that journey, and I think that's important for kids to see too. I think it's important for kids to see parents who are passionate about what they do, because then they become kids who are passionate about what they do. Yeah. And you model that for them so beautifully in this film.
It's funny, I had them watch it separate from me so that they could have their own moment to decide what they were comfortable with and what they weren't comfortable with. And Brielle said to me when it was over, "Wow, you had a really hard time." really feel bad for you. I just thought that was hilarious. And the point of it is not that, the thing is that everybody has this journey. Producing this movie with me is Kelly O'Hara. Does anyone know Kelly O'Hara? And Audra McDonald. And I'm the guinea pig. I'm the one that it had to just be by myself, because Stephen Cantor, who's one of our producers, who is here in the house, said he really felt it should be the narrative of one person and not like a talking heads with a lot of people talking. But I have sat in the audience of Broadway houses and watched Kelly O'Hara literally lactating on a Broadway stage. I saw Audra McDonald standing, dancing on a table, 3 or 4 months pregnant. I've heard friends be angry with them because they left shows because they were pregnant and the show had to close. The choices that we make in this world, whether we're Broadway actors or not, when we're trying to figure out what our path is to motherhood, are hard choices. And I think it's important to let everybody know, even though it is counterintuitive, babies bring blessings. Sure do. And sometimes it's so crazy. When I was little, when I was young, I thought I had to choose. When I was graduating from college, I thought that I thought that there was no way I could do both. I thought that was something to feel guilty about asking for. I thought that maybe what would happen is that I would spend my 20s trying to have a career, and then I would get really, really famous, and then in my 30s I would go off into a farm somewhere and have some babies, and that I would be so famous.
What a farm, Renee?
Yeah, because I loved animals too, and that they were going to fly me in to be a superstar. And in reality, that's not what happened. In reality, I did not have a big career, and I hadn't had children yet, and I was forced to make a choice. And every single time I made a choice for family, something crazy and amazing happened in my career. I really believe, though it's counterintuitive, if you invest and you don't make decisions out of fear, they can be rewarded.
What are some of the, I'm asking you this because we are on the 10th anniversary.
What are we going to do for the 10th anniversary?
This, we're doing this, you're seeing it. Everybody relax.
You're going to find out here.
Please.
I'm just trying to keep it interesting.
There's no secret plan. TikTok's going to kill me for my one clip. I wanted to ask, when you rewatch the show, what sense memory comes back?
Oh my God.
Because I think about the sweats of the turntable. I remember being halfway through satisfied when we went home from rehearsal that day and thinking, maybe my brain's full. Like maybe I actually can't learn any more choreography and I actually hit capacity because I can barely hold on to all the things that got thrown at me today. And we're only at 3 fundamental things at the exact same time. And then, you sleep and the brain stores it somewhere and you go and you learn more choreography. Like, does it bring back any memories of the making of it when you see the footage of us doing it?
Every single time the song Satisfied starts playing, my heart goes, and almost any time I'm in a spotlight and I can't see, because I really felt like a deer in the headlights. I was standing there and it was staged beautifully, but until the movie came out, I had no idea that anybody was doing anything besides me. They're literally throwing their bodies around me. They're literally turning back time in choreography. They're like, it's the whole number is the entire company. And I watched the Hamilton movie and I was like, wow. I only remember Jasmine standing next to me and then like dancing with Chris. It's a crazy. Chris is back there somewhere tripping on my dress. So when the song starts, especially right before the rap, I get nervous every single time.
It really makes me laugh to hear you say that because I remember, I was very lucky that I had Javier Munoz, Hamilton, to be in the show once a week so I could take notes and make the final changes to the thing. And my experience of the opening number is that. Like, everyone's singing about me and I'm in the middle and horrible things are happening to me and my life around me. And the first time I watched it, and again, like, this was my first time sitting outside seeing the work of my collaborators, and I remember we hit that closing chord and Alexander Hamilton, and Hamilton faces out and everyone else bows their heads. And I didn't know that happened.
Really?
And I burst into tears because I went, oh, he's in the present and he doesn't know what it is, but they're all telling the story of this life that already happened and has been cut short. And it's in one gesture that Andy did it. And it was such, I knew we were part of something special, but I hadn't gotten to see it until about 2 weeks into the public.
Yeah.
And that was a very special moment. But I was just like, I was just like, well, this whole thing is just happening around me.
Yeah.
And then you see what our incredible collaborators have done, what our incredible castmates are doing in every corner of the frame. I watched the show with David once. We were in London prepping Little Mermaid, and we went and just watched. We just like sat in the back and watched Hamilton one night. And I said, Schuyler Sisters was happening, and I said, can you remember this choreography? And he went, bruh, I didn't know it while it was happening. That's why Lafayette's on the steps. So you asked, what are we doing for the 10th anniversary? There is no secret OG World Tour with the original cast. I'm just gonna burst that bubble. First of all, you can't afford that, and now you cannot. What I wanted to do is spend all year celebrating with nights like this, where tonight is free, and you're all here for free, and we just celebrate little bits all year with different things like this. In the spirit of that, Renee, do you want to sing a song?
Didn't pull out my phone to make that moment. I literally wanted to save it for the rest of my life because I have to tell you, don't let the movie fool you, okay? I do not get treated well in my house. I do not get treated well in my house.
Is there anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank quickly. I want to thank Chris Bolin, Katie Bolin, Stephen Cantor, Helene Cantor, Paul Cantor, Abby Martin, Mickey Watanabe Ruella, Ruth, Melissa Hazlip, Joanna Wexel, Vass is here, that wonderful DP, Ora Navarro, Leonard Joseph, Reshma Saper, Michael Shantz, Jack Turner, Alicia Casey, Rick French, Sean Shannon, Michael Casey.
Thank you all for a wonderful movie.
Thank you for making a wonderful movie.
Back to my question. Get him, Renee.
Like my belt matters. The craziest thing happened. A lot of crazy things have happened in my life, especially just the friendship with this person behind me. But I've been writing original music for like 1,700 years. And I was trying to put an album out, and one of the songs I wanted to put on it is a song I'm going to sing tonight. And he wrote it, so I was really nervous. So I wrote an email, and maybe 3 weeks later I finally sent it to him, because he kept asking me, will you sing something? Do you want to sing something? Will you sing something? Do you want to sing something? And I was like, I have an idea. So I sent him an email, and one of the things I said in was like, I'd like to sing this song that I'm going to put on my album, and I just want you to know the only reason why this version of it exists is because when I sing places, you never come. You never come and sing with me, and no one else from the cast comes and sings with me. And so I had to make this version of the song. It was totally to butter him up, because he gave me, and he had the opportunity, which he has done, to give me a night where I get to do it a little bit with him.
But I've never been once invited to sing with her, so that's hilarious.
Let's do it.
All right.
A toast to the groom, to the bride, from your sister, who is always by your side, to your union, and the hope that you provide. May you always be satisfied. I remember that night, I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those soldier boys tripping over themselves to win our praise. I remember that dream like candlelight, like a dream that you can't quite place. But Alexander, I'll never forget the first time I saw your face. I've never been the same, intelligent eyes and a hunger pain frame. And when you said hi, I forgot my dang name. Set my heart aflame, every part aflame.
Strike me.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. You forget yourself.
You're like me. I'm never satisfied.
Is that right?
I've never been satisfied.
My name is Angelica Schuyler.
Alexander Hamilton.
Where's your family from?
Unimportant, there's a million things I haven't done. Just you wait, just you wait. Stop.
So this is what it feels like to match wits with someone at your level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with the key and a kite. You see it right. The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. It's a dream and it's a bit of a dance. A bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a bluff, but I'ma give it a chance. I asked about his family, did you see his answer? His hands started fidgeting, he looked askance. He's penniless, he's flying by the seat of his pants. Handsome boy, does he know it? Peach fuzz that he can't even grow it. I wanna take a bar right from this place, then I turn and see my sister's face and shit. Fundamental truths at the exact same time. Number one, I'm a girl in a world in which my only job is to marry rich. My mother has no son, so I'm the one who has to socialize the one. Cause I'm the oldest and the wittiest, and the gossip in New York City is insidious. And Alexander was penniless.
She would say I'm fine, she'd be lying. But when I fantasize at night, it's Alexander's eye. As I romanticize what might have been if I hadn't tried. Him up so quickly, at least she's his wife.